Where is my... There is some Twitters. Where did I read? I was just taking a look at a message on Twitter from Elon. This was actually pretty interesting. So they're not going to try to push out quarter four cars, like as far as deliveries. They're basically saying, Elon sent out an email saying, just treat it like every other quarter, act like we don't have stock price to worry about. And just because it looks like they probably pay overtime, get outside contractors and everything. So basically the costs go up and overall they do the same amount of delivery. So there's no reason to deliver them right at the end of the quarter besides just what production and delivery numbers, well, I guess just delivery numbers look like. So fourth quarter might not be as awesome as far as deliveries. Production should still be the same, which is what we care about. And I'm not sure. Let's see, is this zoomed in enough? What I thought was pretty huge. Let's see. We don't have high volume production in Europe or Texas. We don't yet have high volume production. So that means, to me, he doesn't usually misspeak. So that means we, sounds like we do already have production, which is super cool. And that'll offset any delivery numbers that aren't insane. So happy about that. Good morning. Long night for me. What's up, bro? Market dropped. Boy, yes it did. But you know what? If the majority of it is because of that new variant and because of oil, we've done this before. We've already done it. We know what it looks like on the other side. And I don't know economically how much stuff comes out of South Africa. I think that's like where it's pretty much seen or how bad it is. But we've already gone through this once. I mean, we went through it to a point where we had no idea what to expect. If quarter of the population on Earth was gonna die, I mean, we really didn't know. I remember being scared as hell when it first came out. Like going to the grocery store was like, okay, let's put on masks and goggles and gloves, and then waiting for everything to be disinfected when I got out and freaking out if somebody even sneezed. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like somebody literally would like, and then you'd look at them like, oh my God, what are you doing within 20 feet of me? So I'm not super worried about that dip, which is, from what I read, the majority of the reason why we're having it. We recovered pretty dang quickly and went well above it. So you have 850s expiring in about a month. Yeah, that's probably fine. 900s expiring this week. Yes, you do. And you got $30 credit for those. I remember. I have some. I think I still have a couple of those expiring this week too. I mean, in light of everything, still holding up pretty dang well. Yeah, the new Transformer variant sounds like it to me. What do they call it? Oh, that's Tesla. Omicron. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Omicron sounds like one of the evil Decepticons. Omicron has shown its face in South America or South Africa. And I think oil prices too. I thought that's what I heard. Let's see what that looks like. See, I don't remember. I think it's crude light. Oh, well, that's looking pretty good. Crude light's actually coming down. Yo, that's actually, it's dropped. So that was, okay, which makes sense. So this was 25 and then dropping down. So that makes sense. So the reason crude light, basically oil futures, would drop because if we have a new variant coming out and then you think everybody's not shipping, not doing anything, not working, then not as many people are going to be using oil or needing oil, in which case the market is flooded, high supply, demand lowers, so price lowers accordingly. So that was good because that was like one of the things, that was actually one of the negatives for quite a while too, was just the price of oil, because it's really spiked up in the last 3 months or so, and now we're right back down. So that's good. How are our bonds doing? Bonds are up, of course, because everything dropped. 150. Yeah, everything is looking pretty good to me. I'm pretty happy. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's up, Earl? Argentina. Not worried because VIX was so high. Got a lot of premium. Minimize the risk. Man, let the market crash like in the beginning and I'll load up on calls. Yeah, that's the thing, is just like everybody knows, like we went through this. And not only it's not only the people who've been doing it for 10 years or 20 years or 40 years or whatever, all of the new retail traders that emerged during the shutdown because we had nothing else to do, that actually have 3 years ago probably didn't know what bonds were really, or what they how they affected things, or how the market responds to certain things. And now we've all been through it, and now we're all it was that time you could have bought any stock, right? Everybody was a genius. Oh, buy this, buy that, buy that. See, it went up. Well, yeah, everything went up for months and months. Apparently, I heard this one isn't responding to vaccines. Oh. Yikes. Well, I mean, at least we don't really have to change what we're doing. I know we stopped flights out, I think, yesterday or today, we're stopping flights out of that South Africa, any of the neighboring countries down there, Mozambique, whatever else is down there. Can't name my countries down there very well. I should be able to. My mom spent time there. She ministered around there for a while. Up my percentage exposure to Tesla. Cool. Me too. Yesterday, I bought a couple more shares. Got my premium, bought a couple more shares. We're up to 245. I can't even remember what we were before this drop. I think we're just 215 or something like that. So it's been a nice couple months. Do you think we'll see Tesla moving sideways? Is it safe to open calendar spreads right now? I mean, safety's all relative. And the market just never makes sense. I mean, with the amount of range you can make money on calendars, I mean, I feel like they're pretty safe. With all the bad news that we have, Tesla's held up pretty well, and now we know it's kind of that weird thing. So right, delivery numbers should be down, not necessarily down quarter over quarter, year over year, but not as high as they should be. But everybody knows why, so it won't be a big deal, and then we'll just see those deliveries Q1. As long as you have time on it. What's up, Jaden? I got hammered on my oil futures, short put options. Oh, did you? Yikes. What's up, JC? So did you get I don't even know how. Actually, I don't even know how that works. Did you get assigned something on the oil? Do you now own oil? Yeah, I literally bought my first stock after the crash and it went up like double. Yeah, I mean that's like half the things I own, and I feel like the exposure is nothing because I got it all at half price or 30% of whatever it should be. Like everything is dirt cheap, and a lot of my long-term holdings where I don't even necessarily care about the company so much, and I've kind of been selling some of this stuff off and just trading it in for Tesla. We got rid of what was our Gap, which I bought at half price or something at some point. What happened to the? I wonder what happened to the COVID stocks. Did like Zoom or anything go? Yeah, Zoom went a little bit. What are the other ones? I mean, Johnson, Moderna. This Moderna's and I can't remember. Moderna. I should. There we go. Oh man, Moderna ripped. Holy smokes. I mean that definitely tells you all that downside is definitely COVID. Dang, that was a nice rip. Almost we have 50, 75 points. Jeez. That's crazy. How much was Moderna back in the day? I know I owned some Moderna too in my long term. It's crazy that we have to go back a year at $50. It was like a $12 stock before all this stuff happened. But and that's like a whole new sector if you wanted to focus on it, just that whole pharmaceutical. My and I think the first stock I purchased in my Robinhood, I bought Trade Desk. Then I made like $20 and sold it or something. I literally, I think I was like Googling good stocks that'll grow or something like that. I can't remember what we bought it for. That's actually hasn't had anything crazy. Can't remember when I bought it. Probably bought it for $50, sold it at 60. Who knows? How much margin do you use for my put credit spread? Let's see. Oh, let me not miss any of this. Do you recommend getting Robinhood Gold? If you're going, let's see, what does Robinhood Gold give you? It gives you level twos, which if you don't use them, no. And I can't remember if you need margin. I think you have to have Robinhood Gold. I mean, let's see. Robinhood Gold benefits. I can't even remember. I do have it. And I can't remember why. Instant deposits. Like, I guess if you need it. Professional research from Morningstar. No. Level 2. Probably not. So, I guess margin. If you need margin and instant deposits, those two would be worth it. So if it's worth it for you, then it is. If you don't plan on investing on margin, and you don't want to make big deposits, hopefully you're just making big withdrawals. Um, that's it. Botswana and other African country, the flights are canceled starting Monday. Okay, so a couple days from now. How much margin do I use for my put credit spreads, and how does paying the margin back work? So you don't pay anything when it's being held as options collateral. So it doesn't really matter as far as like if you use it for collateral on a put credit spread. It's only if it's exercised or you want to buy stock on that margin, then you get paid. I think it's I don't know, maybe it's like a couple percent or something. Let me see what's the margin rate on there. Robinhood. I don't know if there's a difference between gold or not. Maybe 2.5%. Okay, so 2.5% yearly interest on an amount you use over $1,000, which is nothing. So you only use it if you're actually buying stock or if you get exercised, and then you can just pay it back whenever. I mean, they're happy with you using that margin for as long as possible and just taking the payments. I mean, and since it's actual just margin on stuff you own, then they're not at any risk because they have like the collateral of your stock, your underlying. And then if you happen to go below the maintenance value, so like on Tesla, I think it's like 50% is what you have to have. So if you have, you only need to put half up, so you can have the money for half a share, and then the other half you can borrow against with margin, and then you don't have to deal with anything unless it goes down to 25% of the original value, and then you can get a margin call, and that's if you're using all your available margin. And you can adjust it in there too. So I was, let's see. I really want to get Cybertruck. I'm just worried that it won't come out as quick as I thought. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, mine's supposed to be 2023 or something like that. Crazy. We'll see how many people cancel their. I mean, if you're needing a truck, there's a good potential a lot of those reservations will be canceled. What is there, like 1 million or something crazy like that? Yeah, it's not going to be quick, which stinks. I mean, supply chain issues all across the dang board. Oh, you got my Moderna ticker. All right. I saw your play on Costco, and I actually got in the same spread. Cool. I want to make sure. I want to close that before earnings. I didn't realize earnings was coming up, but somebody called that out. So, yeah. I don't know why I enjoy do put credit spreads on random stocks like Coin, Costco. It's just fun until they go massively against you and you don't know why because you're not paying attention. I just liked, those few I had on Coinbase just because it had such a super retarded strong support at 220. Those are easy to do. Costco, I don't know as well, but that chart just looks so good. With gold, you can trade until 6 p.m. Huh? Not for me. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know where you live either. I mean, I can just trade during regular trading hours. I have Robinhood Gold, I think. Can you show us how to use margin on credit spreads and how you pay it? It's all, there's absolutely nothing different. You just, as long as you have margin enabled on your account, it'll just automatically, if you don't have cash, let's say you have $10,000 cash, you enable margin, it'll use up first that 10,000 it'll use up the it'll use the margin however much you enable first. It's just completely all automatic, and I can't really use it because opening up a put credit spread on margin, nothing comes out of my account. It's just buying power, so it's just set aside. And if I were to lose on it and those plays got exercised, and let's say I had $10,000 that was my collateral I put up, it gets exercised, and then instead of having, it just says options collateral, and then that options collateral will go into margin, it'll just say margin used, and either like as you win, you put money in, you sell off things, that it just goes away. So it's completely automatic, nothing special for you to do at all. It's just And sometimes I forget to look, but I don't have any margin used in my account. It's just all options collateral. I have just cash in my account. It'll show cash balance and margin balance. But if I was just to take, if I was using my margin and I had $100,000 worth of margin and I just plunked it all in Tesla, then I would be paying 2.5% a year on all that, which with 2.5, and I think like M1 is 2%. I don't know why. I should just like maximize it all, stick in QYLD that pays 10%, and make 7.5% a year on the borrowed money. I really should. I bought a couple of AXP stocks on Friday. What are AXPs? I don't know what those are. American Express. My gosh. I have that one of my long-term holdings because I actually like American Express. I don't even know if, oh man, their chart looks pretty nice too. Good Lord. That looks just as pretty as as Costco's dang near. Huh. Well, I'm glad I have that in my long-term holding. And oh, we get some decent dividends too. No, I guess not relative to the stock price, but hey, we get dividends nevertheless. Awesome. What version of the Cybertruck would you get? I just got I got the dual motor, not the tri. There's the tri motor, which has, I don't know, 1,000,000 horsepower and like 500 miles. But the one I put my reservation on is just the tri motor, and there's no other options. It's just one motor, two motor, three motors, and full self-driving or not. And that was it, like when I ordered it. So I just have full self-driving and two motors. And I can't remember the cost. It was something, it seemed cheap at the time, like 49,000 or something like that. I just looked, like Model Y now is up to 60,000 or something like that. So it's actually going to be cheaper or about the same as that. So good deal. On Wednesday, I was super scared because I got pin wrist. Thankfully, I was able to exercise my position on Friday and save myself. I think that they automatically execute, I'm pretty sure. And what about margin calls? Oh, okay, so margin calls, and like I showed you, like, well, I mean, it was a while ago now, where I had like one exercise, but the other side hadn't executed. But it shows a deficit, and I can't remember exactly what the message is. Maybe if you find, it's just like a short I did, and I was like, this is what, I don't know, $100,000 or 50,000. I can't remember what the dollar amount was. Margin call looks like. But basically, it's before you can make any trades, you need to pay back that margin. So you either have to deposit money in the account or liquidate positions. That's the only two options you get before you can trade anymore. And then I don't know what happens like if you ignore that. I don't know why you would, but I mean, maybe I just don't know why you would ignore it. Can you buy leaps with margin? Yeah, absolutely. You can do anything you want. Yeah, it's just you get margin on underlying, like on stocks. Those are marginable. So if let's say you purchased your one share of Tesla for $1,000 and you can have 50% margin on there, that means you have another $500 that you can do something with. If you have $1,000 and you use it on like a cash secured put or a put credit spread, you can't margin those things. So $1,000, that's all you can do. Same thing with leaps. You can use the margin, but you'd have to use margin that you had available from something else. Like if you owned $10,000 of a certain stock and you can use $5,000 of the margin, you can use that on leaps or whatever you want. But that's also going to be that stuff that you're going to pay that 2.5% on. Unlike a credit spread or a cash secured put, that they're just holding kind of that little placeholder aside. Um, until that's signed, you lose on it. Then at that point, that's when you actually have to pay something on it. But up until then, there's zero cost. So like put credit spreads on margin, there's zero cost to you. I live in Florida. I didn't know that until last week. The guy from I don't know if that's on person on Robinhood told me I could trade until 6 p.m. What? Wait. Oh, you can really? Okay. 4 premium features. Uh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have it. I know I have it. Well, I haven't tried. I haven't tried to do it. Maybe I'll try. What were you able to do? I know you can buy crypto. I can buy crypto anytime you feel like it, but actual stocks, I don't. I'm pretty sure can't do that after hours. I recently had a losing credit spread that I rolled for credit, but now I'm confused about calculating my profit. Could you go over this, please? Sure. What did you roll it for? And where it's like, let's see. You bought Tesla stock after hours. Yeah, if you give me what you actually played, we can get it figured out. But you basically had your initial whatever your whatever your premium that you received. If you rolled it out for a credit, you would add to that premium. And now if it expires worthless, both of those, whatever you received the first time and the second time, that's your profit. Is QLD pretty safe? Um, yeah, they just sell covered calls on like the Nasdaq 100. So the catch with it is you're not going to make the underlying's not going to go up a lot. That's the catch. It's going to be flat, pretty much. It might go up a little bit, down a little bit, but you essentially get almost like 1% of whatever you have into it as a dividend every month. I think I have a dividend paying of like, I don't know, or pending of, I want to say it was like $98. I have 10,000 in there. So basically it's like $100 a month. It's not going to grow, right? The whole stock market's going to go up 20%. QLD is going to stay the same and you're going to collect 10%. So that's the catch. And if you kept it for 10 years, you're only going to double your money. Well, I guess it would take 7 years as long as you're reinvesting it. Hey, Jason, Tesla at the $1,000 price, would you open up a leap? Depends on premium. I still have my 850s. It just really depends how much they're charging for them. Um, I think I would probably need to see a little bit more pullback than that, just because if if I was going to do that, I did have an opportunity the last couple of weeks. It depends what kind of extra money I have too, right? Like leaps are leaps are freaking expensive. It's not easy to cough up an extra $40,000 or whatever they are. They're pretty insane. And I would most likely probably do a debit spread just to like instead of paying 40,000, you could pay 20,000 and get most of the upside, at least to a reasonable place where I think the stock's going to go. What is my background in? Sales. That's what I've been doing for pretty much like, I don't know, 20 years or so, some project management and stuff. But I've always enjoyed numbers, um, and all this stuff. Just numbers make sense. Is it a good time to open up credit spreads or calendar spreads on Tesla? Yep and yep. Yes and yes. I mean, they're both a way to achieve different things. So I think calendar spreads maybe a little bit more near term, um, just because I'm not going to want to hold them through any crazy announcements where we get blown out of the top side on a calendar spread. And those are going to be the best for when it's trading a little bit sideways. Um, and I've gone a little directional in them. That's why they're up at 1200. So they're a little bit cheaper, a little bit more gains there with where the put credit spread, right? We can't lose to the upside. And it's definitely like a downfall with my thoughts and my like I guess my little world in Tesla. I am so scared of it just going insanely high because I see a different valuation than what it's at. Um, I I think at 12, like the 1200s ish, we were kind of priced to perfection for what we knew. But I mean, like, wait for one announcement of a stock split. Like, what do you think the stock's going to do? It's going to most likely rocket. And I would hate to be holding a calendar spread through that. I don't trust myself using margin. Good, then don't. At least you know yourself. I totally would. I don't know. It it's like kind of double-edged sword, right? Like if you thought about using your margin, but then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to only use my margin for retardedly safe stuff, right? I'll sell cash covered Tesla puts at $400 and collect a few dollars or something. I don't know. I have a cousin that works for Coinbase and gets paid in crypto, which I find interesting. That's cool. Does he work up here, like in Seattle, or just is everybody remote? You bought Tesla stocks? Yeah, and I think Tesla stocks have been awesome because I feel like, which is why I shoved a bunch of money into it because I expect us to bounce back to $1,200. And so when it was chilling around $1,000, it's like a 20% upside with, in my mind, no downside risk, right? Like even if it does drop, eventually it's going to be $1,200. So not risky in the sense of like how a put credit spread could get blown out or a calendar could get blown out or something like that. You won't be able to trade options. Options end at market close and don't go into after hours or pre-market. But I can do. I'm excited. Like if I can trade some stocks. Yes, it is possible to buy stocks after hours with gold. Oh man, can't believe I did not know that. Thank you guys. Can't believe I didn't know that. I've never even tried. But there's been 100% a couple times where I wanted to. Like after hours, something went up, and I'm like, cool, I should dump this tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow morning comes, and everything is just, lose it. Do you think the $1,200 calendar debit spreads are safe right now? I do. I think they're still looking pretty good. I think I just looked at this yesterday, but we'll do it again. Calendar call spreads, Tesla, and what do we have? We got some. I think I have two different ones. I have some 1723s and some 23rd 31st, and let's get up to our 1200. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, we're still making what they're gonna be worth $1,000 or so on Monday. Yeah. I mean, unless you're worried about dipping down to 900s or something like that. I don't remember. What did we pay for these? Like, I want to say I paid $500 or something like that. Where's my calendars? What did we pay for these? Oh, 650. Let's go to contract value. So yeah, it'd have to go down below 1,000 basically for us to even lose on this thing. 975. So yeah, I mean that's to me it's looking fantastic. That looks great. It gives us like we've been showing really good support right around the 1100. You know, it's dipped down a little bit, but with everything that's going on, I feel like I'm happy with it. So like to me, kind of my worst case outlook is, you know, we can gain another couple $100, even if it's down in the 1050s. And if we are showing signs of strength and we're well above that 1100, then we still can, I mean, we can double or triple our money on these things. So they look great to me. I like it. I like it. Sorry, this isn't a spread on Tesla. What are you doing? Not doing spreads on Tesla. That's what you're. Don't apologize. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to trade other things. I just do it because it's the only. I want to be able to pay attention to less. But Coca Cola, solid company. Okay, so you got a $17 credit for 55, 55 and a half. Rolled it. Received an additional $14. So, okay, so you widen your strikes. So you went from 50 to $100 collateral. So if it expires worthless, your profit is $31. That's where you're at. You're at $100 collateral, and basically all I'm doing is you add up the credit, the 17 plus the 14, for $31, and where you're at with the widths of your strike is $100. Yeah, piece of cake. 21-ish DTE credit spread. I have two. One is 995, 1,000 that I'm confident in, and then another 1045, 1050 that is making me nervous. Do you think I should roll out for credit until Elon is done pawning his stocks? Absolutely. If you're uncomfortable with it, then roll it out. I roll out anything I'm uncomfortable with for any amount of time, unless I think, unless I see something in the near term that is going to change what's going to happen in my mind, right? Because we're all guessing. So 100%. If it's making you nervous, that means you don't sleep well at night. Not worth the stress. And by pushing it out 14 to 21 days, you're going to lower your stress, and you're waiting, a whole nother 2 or 3 weeks for some money to come in? Like, you have years and years and years and years and years ahead of you to make money. Let's not make it stressful all along the way. It's no fun. Less than fun. It gives you stomach aches. Yeah, so 100%. And 20 is like that perfect number, right? Like 21 days till expiration, that's when you should start looking at managing them. For sure. But it says on Robinhood that average credit is 56, so I'm having trouble keeping up with what my profit and loss would be as the contract move. Yeah, because it's the way Robinhood, is going to calculate it. Your new credit is going to be whatever the old one cost to close, in addition to your new credit received. So you almost have to like write it down. All I really care about as far as my individual plays, and I mean, I don't track them all individually crazy or anything like that, but all I care at the end of the day is they win. And that's why I really don't care so much about my account balance or anything like that. That's all short-term stuff. Focus on those plays, focus on rolling it out and get it to where you're profitable, and then be done with it. But it sounds like, and then you can also go back in your messages and see how much credit was received, and that's all you have to do. You just add that up. What Tesla models do you own? I own one. I just own a Model Y. It's the Model Y dual motor. What options do I have? I have the full self-driving package and the bigger black wheels instead of the stock ones, which I would not buy again because when I was having my windshield replaced, I drove one with the stock wheels, and the rims are a little bit smaller, so they have a little bit more rubber, and it drove like way smoother. And I live in Seattle area where everything's all, I mean, it's not as bumpy as some parts of the country, but it's bumpy, way more comfortable ride. So that's it. And I've got 40, how many, no issues with it. just that I love it more and more every day. That's it. I think I have already 40 some miles. I cracked the windshield twice, which was pretty funny. So 41,000 miles on it, and I just got it last year in June. So yeah, cracked the windshield twice. I've never cracked one in my life, and I get one rock smashed in my windshield, go get it replaced, and then I mean it was like 2 or 3 days later it broke again. And I was just thinking this thing's just got to be prone to window breaking, but nah, it's just kind of what happened. So yeah. But other than that, no. And in fact, like everything with the software updates, it just keeps getting better. Like it drives better, has more features, does things like it gets smarter. It is such a weird thing. Like I know winter driving, because the Model Ys went through one winter already, like the software has been updated through whatever the AI has learned through driving in snow and ice through one winter, and then like this winter it's supposed to be that much better. So no. And the only, let's see, I was like trying to figure out, I was thinking maybe I'll take my camera down there one day and kind of go through stuff I like and don't like or whatever. And the only thing that like they could have added real easily it's not something I don't like, but it would make everything like a little bit more perfect. So I'm sure you've seen the handles where you kind of have to push with your thumb and then open it. If it's dark out, and especially if somebody's not familiar with it, like the passenger handle, it's super hard for somebody to be able to find it. Like I can't find it. I have to feel a little bit to be able to open it. But somebody who's not familiar with it, then they have a way more difficult time. So that's it. But other than that, love it. Like every other car seems stupid. Yeah, from autopilot to the like USB-C ports, which actually charge at a high rate. That's super nice. My phone doesn't take forever to charge. Has the wireless charging pads in there. Like folds up mirrors when I go to the car wash. I don't know. Everything is really good. Very good. I'd highly recommend it. Wouldn't buy anything else anymore, I don't think. But yeah, no issues. Can you get a margin call with a credit spread? No, because you cannot open up a credit spread. Wait. Nope, you can't. Because you're already putting that collateral up, and that collateral you can't have that collateral on margin. So, no. Only when you lose. Because 100% of that is set aside. What's up, Racy? So just to be clear, that current spread that's showing me on Robinhood needs to come down to at least $37 for me to break even, and even lower for me. Yes. Did I say, is it 37? Right, 14? I'm sorry, 31. Yeah, 17 plus 14 is 31. Yeah, so it needs to come down 31 or lower for you to break even, and lower for you to profit. How was my Thanksgiving? It was awesome. It was awesome. Didn't cook a thing. Had a family friend, and she loves cooking. And this is the first year I was vegetarian through it, and she made me a ton of cool stuff. Still got the birds for everybody else, but we did no cooking. Had everything delivered by her kid, so it was awesome. My girlfriend slept probably like 20 out of the 24 hours that day. She works super hard and like late hours and doesn't sleep much and loves sleep. So no, that was good. Hopefully yours was pretty awesome. Do you have a Discord where I could learn to trade Tesla spreads with you? I do have a Discord. Um, I think the link is in the description. Pretty sure. Uh, let's see. But I can paste one in there, I think. Let's see. Invite the people. Or send to. I'll post one. Sometimes I think it has to be updated once in a while, so there's a fresh one. Lick is in the description. Yes, sir. Lately, apparently, we were talking about talking about how you can't do exercise without being out of breath. The latest thing in the main chat, not options. Yeah, but there's a ton of like there's a ton of helpful people. I have a full time job too, so I get in there when I can during the day. But to me, like once you get it, spreads are super straightforward, very straightforward. Okay, I'm enable margin. Use 30K on Tesla spreads. Thank you so much for the financial advice. If anything goes wrong, I'm blaming you. Yeah, you should definitely do that. Cause yeah, because what I said is you should use all that margin for Tesla shares, not spreads. I wonder if that even does any good. Not financial, like financial advice: buy Tesla shares and start selling them in 2030. That's financial advice. There must be some reason to have disclaimers on stuff, though. I can tell you what. I'll refund your Discord membership fees if anything goes wrong. Let's see. Yeah, and actually, somewhere I have a video that I took. I drove, I drove 100 miles. It was back from like the middle of Washington State back to Seattle, like 90 or 100 miles on the autopilot that I recorded. Thing is, the most that autopilot, like people kind of, $10,000 is a lot of money, a lot. Um, but the if you drive a lot and if you stress about driving, like I'm not a stressful driver, I don't like road rage or anything, but you feel so much more like a passenger. And yeah, you can put a price on the autopilot and $10,000, and it's a lot. And why be so lazy and not drive? But but like stop and go traffic in Seattle sucks, and like that'd take it out of me, like make me tired, especially on an afternoon where traffic's bad. And now with the autopilot, being able to just like sit back, relax. Of course, you're like watching stuff, but not having to have your feet go back and forth and deal with everything. It is relaxing, like just so worth the money, so worth it. And I'm a little bit of the mindset. I've been kind of thinking about it. Uh, I don't really care so much what something costs as long as you use it and use it a lot. Then it's worth it because I think we spend money on so much crap that doesn't get used. That's the worst to me. I don't care how cheap it is. If it's on sale and $3, but you never use it, that is a wasted $3. But if you spend 10,000 on it, and I use it every single day, and it's great, definitely well worth it. 20 is good, 60 must be better. You commute 50 to 60 miles each way. with 49 being on one highway, one lane, my next car is definitely going to be a Tesla with autopilot. Yeah. Oh my gosh. If you're, what part of the country you live in? Like, is it like, I mean, if it's one lane, it must be super quiet out there. So it's not even crazy. It's because like Seattle proper and that kind of area, um, that, it'll change lanes and get on and off freeways and stuff. But when I get over to Eastern Washington or like Idaho or somewhere like way south where there's just not much, it's just you totally are a passenger because you're not actually having to really pay attention so much and look around you. It just goes. So for that commute, I mean, amazing. So I'm not as dumb as my typing. Oh, New Jersey. I don't even know. Like, when I think of New Jersey, I think of a lot of cars and stuff. But I'm sure it's there's a lot of different areas of New Jersey. Oh, okay. So you go from New Jersey border. Okay, but with a one lane highway, not a craziness, not a bunch of craziness. You leave for work before traffic starts, even better. And the insane thing about it, I mean, if you're on one lane road, awesome. Some of the crazy stuff to me is where you have downpour and I don't know, it's dark and can't see well or lights coming at you. That dang car sees way better and can make out lines where I'm like, I'm looking at the road going, how in the world can you actually see a lane here? And it does it super well. I mean, it definitely sees stuff that we don't. So, yeah, if you're doing 100 and something miles a day, like to me, that's a no brainer. The people who have a hard time justifying buying one are people that drive 5 miles or 10 miles to an office back and forth or work from home. So they only go to get groceries. As soon as we actually, um, oh, I see. You just in the one lane. Okay. But the fact is, you're driving a lot. But as soon as we're racking up, what is that? That's got to be what? Uh, 7. So you're gonna be kind of like me, right? You're racking up at least 40,000 a year. So what is that? 120. Oops. 120 times no, 120 times 5 times 52. 30 plus you drive other places. So yeah, you're gonna be about 40,000. That makes it so easy. Yeah, 40, 50 a year. That'll make it so easy for you to justify. If I didn't drive so many miles, I couldn't justify it, I don't think. But like when you net out the cost of gas, as long as you can charge at home, um, cost of gas, cost of oil changes, your time to stop at the gas station, your time to go get your oil changed, the like brakes, all that stuff, and and also you don't even need autopilot to basically go straight. You don't even need to pay that because it comes with like a basic lane keep assist, so you can go get in one lane. It just won't automatically change lanes, so you don't even need to spend that extra 10 grand unless you really want to. Takes away some features, but you can go down the freeway straight, no problem. Um, Dude, yeah, yeah. It's super easy to do because you're gonna be saving money every month. Plus, no brake jobs, none of that stuff. Because usually uses mostly the electric motor to slow down. You're not actually using your brakes. You do have to spend money on windshield wiper fluid and windshield wipers though. I'm a spiritual guide and Tesla will be at 2,000 Monday. No, that's too high. Stop it. Charge at home and I can add some solar panels if I start having to pay an electric bill. Yeah, Mine are supposed to be here anytime. I had the Tesla guy come out, so they did my actual. I've done all my permits. I think we're waiting for one thing back from the city. I had the Tesla guy in the Tesla truck come and tromp on my roof and check out all my electric. So I should be good to go anytime. But it looks like, I don't know, they haven't updated me in like a month or something like that. Maybe it's next year that I get it. Hopefully they still have all the same tax credits and stuff like that. But even if not, it's crazy. Like solar is cheaper to have than it is to not. Like if you even if you took out a loan for it, you pay it in 10 years, it's cheaper than your electric bill. Mine's only costing me, I think, $11,000. That's before all the tax incentives. And if I was to take a loan on that and pay it off in 10 years, that cost of that loan is like half of what my electric is. And then after 10 years, it's free money. Just doesn't make any financial sense if you own a house to not have it. And it adds, I know like a couple years ago, on average, it added $25,000 worth of value to the house for $11,000. It's just like, now it just makes sense. And it's super cool. Like 10 years ago to do it, it probably would have cost 3 or 4. And if you had extra money and you wanted to be super green, then you do it. Now it just makes financial sense to do it. Same thing with an EV. 10 years ago, you would have been buying a $100,000 Model S, which was not nearly as efficient. Now you get to buy one for less money and it will make financial sense. Like you can compare that $60,000, I don't know which one you're looking at. I don't know how much a Model 3 is or Model Y or whatever. You can compare that to a car half the cost, and with the lack of depreciation on a Tesla and the no maintenance, the no cost, all that stuff, you're actually money ahead by buying it. Do I think I'm okay with my 900 spreads? I am a spiritual guide, and yes. I don't feel like wrong. Yeah, I wouldn't want to inconvenience you from pressing like 4 or 5 buttons. It'd be terrible. I'm keeping mine on. I mean, who knows what Monday's gonna bring? I think somebody asked me that, right? Like, what's Monday? I don't know. I think we'll have my theory, like overall market. Who knows what's going to happen with Tesla? I think it'll stick around where it's going to stick around for a while. Even though we did have really good news about the expansion in Shanghai, but I feel like the overall market should bounce back. Like we just had a short day to digest this new variant thing, and people will probably chew on it and be fine. So that's my thought. Yeah. It just cracks me up. Like all this buying, selling, rolling is so literally takes us a couple minutes. Oh, and that's the best part. With autopilot, you can trade in the car on your app. You can trade Tesla in your Tesla while on autopilot. That's a good reason. So you can actually, if I factored, it'd be funny if I factored the amount of money I've made while on autopilot, and if I ran those numbers against what I paid for autopilot, then it's definitely well worth the 10,000 for sure. Yeah, and then the other good thing too, $40,000 a year. In 6 years, your car is not going to be garbage and ready to be recycled. Or another car at 300,000 to be all done. You're good to go for half a million miles, and then it's only going to lose a little bit of value at that. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see anything crazy. I totally could be wrong. That's my favorite when I see the stock predictions. Well, from here, it can either go sideways, it can go up, or it can go down off of this point. Never means anything to me. I never, like, almost never hear actual prices being called out. Yeah, let's see. Do we have any other news that's gonna, let's see, shopping scams, Black Friday. Uh, Here's what Jerome Powell's second term as Fed chair means for your wallet. It means if my wallet gets empty, he goes and prints some more money. Let's see. Markets don't bottom on a Friday. Oh, yeah. I guess that is true. But that was a half day, so it was a different kind of Friday. We got the down, we didn't get the bounce. But yeah, usually down Friday, down Monday. Here's what the Black Friday carnage may mean for the stock market Monday, analysts say. God, I used to pay attention to analysts. I use credit cards for everything. I'm 36, earn 62,000, and have $290,000 in retirement savings. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. Are we doing okay? I guess really what's probably going to drive things is how bad the news is on the new COVID variant. I would imagine. But oh well. Short-term stuff. All right. Let's see. Where's my wonder what? Let me get one more drawing studies. Where's my Oh, we can't even go into the future yet. 1080 is a mid. All right. Well, I don't have anything else for you guys. I think we've gone through all the questions. I think Monday will be fun. Next week, where are we at, anyways? Let's see. Ooh, look at all that crypto money. I'm up for the day. Up $5 today. Don't want to brag. Is crypto doing well or what? Oh, looks like it's all down. I don't know why we're up. We're showing up $5. So I still have the ones expiring next week. I did roll out my $1,300 calls. I have a new Tilray to open up, just a call to sell against the shares that I own. I do have a couple of those 900s. I have a couple 940s, and I have a 1000. So they were all stragglers. So I'm much closer to the money than you are. So I'll roll those out if I need to, but I didn't feel too bad. We rolled out a ton of them. We rolled out a bunch, and I think those 1,000 ones are pretty. Those are pretty aggressive. We'll see how it goes. Just got here. Looks like I missed it. Yes, sir, you did. You're very welcome, Argentina. I got some Riot shares. Let's go, crypto. How's Riot going? So it is. It is getting stranger and stranger the more disconnected I get from everything else. With getting rid of almost everything except for whatchamacallit. Getting rid of everything except for Tesla and Palantir. Oh, nice little consolidation. That looks like a wedge. It might go up. We'll see. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go. Um, go handle my jump rope for another 2 minutes. The one I bought. Holy smokes, man! Out of shape. Oh, kicked my butt. 2 minutes, I think, literally, and I'm sore. I remember, like as a kid, like I feel like at some point you could jump rope as a kid for like hours on end and not even feel it, but that was probably, you know, a 60-pound kid, not a 200-pound adult. That doesn't do enough. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Monday should be fun, should be interesting. And yeah, I think that's it. Love you guys. And we'll see you then.